Alright fellas, oh it's a brew day, friggin' right. I was super psyched at getting this brew day done today because it's been, what time we brewed in here, October? When we brewed up for the wedding, and I had a day in here yesterday cleaning up, tidying, everything got cleaned, you know, tidied all the shit up and got everything going, and I was ready. Even the pipes were set up, ready to just fill the HLT up with water and off with the brew day. Started recirculating the HLT and went inside, made a cup of tea. When I come back into the brewery, I thought something's amiss. It's really quiet in here, and it wasn't until I saw that this pipe, the water was like there, that I realised that it wasn't recirculating. The pump, bless it, has decided you don't want to work. I don't know, I think it's just probably a faulty one when they sent it, because it's had hardly anything through it. It's had no use whatsoever. So I may have to get another pump, but it's obviously going to be next year now. Next year, because this is the last one I'm going to do for 2016. What you have to do is you have to adapt. I think that's the biggest challenge a home brewer has, is that you have to adapt to a situation to get it done. So I'm now down to one pump. So what I'm doing is, for the minute, is I'm using this one pump to recirculate the HLT, so that we know that the HLT water is where we need it, which at the minute we are at temps 75 degrees. So we know that that is a constant 75 for mashing in, because normally I'd be recirculating on this one and then I recirculate the mash on this one while I'm recirculating the HLT. So I have two recircs going. So what I'm going to have to do is, once we're doughed in, I'm going to have to use this pump to then recirculate the mash through the herms, and the water that's going to be in here will not be recirculated, so it's going to be in and around the ballpark. It's not going to be as accurate a temp, but it doesn't matter, because we're going to be using the mash probe to check for temps. So it doesn't matter if that's a couple of degrees higher than what it needs to be, because I'm going to be controlling when the recirc goes on and off. As a result of that, I'm probably not going to be recirculating throughout the full mash. We'll have to see how it goes, so efficiencies might drop, but it's just a payoff to get it running. Something has to give. What we're doing is a pinfold bitter, because I haven't done a bitter since the days of Harry doing the all grain kits, and I haven't actually put a recipe together myself. So what we have is 5 kgs of Marisota for the base malt, and then we have 220 grams of Crystal 20, we have 190 grams of Crystal 40, and 110 grams of Crystal 80. We're going to be adding 25 grams of East Kent Goldings at 60 minutes, and then we're going to be adding 16 grams at 20 minutes, and then we're going to be doing a bit of a whirlpool of 14 grams of East Kent. So now we're still sitting at 75 degrees, so even after me rambling, so I think that's ready to rock and roll. We're going to dough in and friggin' get the show on the road. 65.6, so I'm gonna up that a degree. So we'll recirc in a second, get that up to 66 degrees because I haven't sorted it out for a point of a decimal. So 66 degrees, 75-minute mash. Friggin' right. Mash I've set at 66 and we are at 66. The HLT is at 69 degrees and we are constantly now for the minute recirculating the mash through the herms, and she's picking up some nice colour for this bitter, which is fan-friggin-tastic. More often than not, especially with kit that you've bodged together yourself, something will inevitably go wrong, and I think the best thing to do when it does, well, what I found works for me, is to just take a step back, take a breather and think how you can get around it, because it's very easy, especially when you're ready and you wanted to hit temps, hit times, and something goes wrong that you've got to sort out. You've got to sort it out pretty damn quick, otherwise things are out of kilter, and it's very easy for me to get flustered. So take a breath, start again with a new plan. So we're 36 minutes into the mash and we are still maintaining a 66 degree temp, which is what we're wanting. So now we're going to weigh out the Eastgate Goldings. There's 3 editions. Like I said before, we're having a 60-minute edition, 20-minute and a steep. The 60-minute edition is going to be 25 grams. The 20-minute edition is going to be 16, and we're going to have 14 for the steep. And that's it. Single hop bitter, not a vast amount. See, 40 minutes in, 60 friggin' 6. So I'll show you this real quick. 44 minutes into the mash, we've got another half an hour. It's looking pretty damn clear so far. Another half an hour to go. Yeah, that's starting to pick up a nice little colour. So the bed's settling out. Yeah, another half an hour, still at 66 degrees. We haven't lost a degree. It's been friggin' awesome. We may be pumped down, but at least the gods are shining down on me with the temps. This is coffee, but it's a naughty coffee. It's got some rum in it. Couple more minutes. Just really clearing out nicely. It's as clear as a bell in there. And for the last sort of half an hour or so, I've just dialed her back so she's not recirculating quite as vigorously, to just let them little tiny particles have a chance to settle into the bed without being sort of forced through. And I must say, 66 degrees is what we were going for, and it's been at 66 degrees for the full 75 minutes, and that's probably one of the most successful time maintaining a mash temperature that I've had in ages. In fact, I can't remember the last one where I wasn't sort of dialing down the HLT, turning the pumps on and off. It's just run solid, so we're going to have good efficiencies hopefully, and I could have practically gone inside and left it. That's how confident I felt that it wasn't going to rise or drop. Mash is done, fellas, look at that. Now what I normally do is, with the second pump, I pump the sparge water through the second pump and it goes through the herms and sparges, and that way you're cleaning out your herms coil. But because I'm using the only pump that I've got to pump into the boil pot, and I'm gravity feeding the sparge, when I've cleaned this out, I'm going to dump a load of cleaning solution in here, and when this is boiling and I don't need the pump, we're going to recirc cleaning through that. So it's an extra job, extra time, but it's just another thing we've got around. over 30 litres. Let's have a look what we wanted to collect. 30.27 litres. So we're just a touch over 30 litres. I've give it a real good stir around and took a sample, which is now cooled. See what she's given us pre-boil gravities. Well, that ain't bad, boys. That ain't bad, boys and girls. Alright, let's see if I can get this working. We've got 1042. Not bad. Not bad. A bit of boil. So we're going to chuck in the 25 grams of East Kent straight in. Excellent. Start the timer. Lid back on. Extract that. So the boil is going to be extended, which is adding time to the brew day, and the reason being is that on one point I'm annoyed that it's happened, but on another point I'm quite pleased with something. So the boil off rate I changed to 4 litres instead of 6, and it didn't change it on the recipe. So it asks for, I should have spotted it. It asks for 30.27 litres pre-boil, finishing with 21.3 litres final volume, which is 6 litres. So it hadn't changed the boil off rate from 6 to 4, which is a bummer, because now I've got to boil it down to where it should be, or boil it down to where I hit my numbers. So I'm going to have a tad more than I need, because we've only got 10 minutes left. So I either boil it down to the volume that I should have and have it stronger, or I boil it down until the numbers match, which is what I'm going to do. Once the boil is up for the 60 minutes, I'll take a sample, let it cool down, check where we are with the gravity, and then we can move forward from there. But on a plus note, it means that I've collected extra wort, and I was only 1 point off, so my efficiency's looking pretty damn good. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, because we're boiling it down, I don't know how long it's going to be. The 20-minute hop addition that should have gone in, I'm going to hold back. I'm going to boil it a little bit and then chuck that in for the last 20 minutes. So it's been boiling now for an hour. We should be done, but we've got a lot of work to do in Beersmith. It's not 4 litres. Now I've dialed in how I use the PID, so I don't get that vigorous sort of boil and avoid boilovers. I just get enough boil to do the job that it needs to do without it being too over the top. It's 2 litres boil off rate, so not 4 and definitely not 6 like what it's set at. So we've got 28 litres left in the boil pot. So I've took a sample that I've got in here that I'm just going to chill down till it's at roughly 20 degrees, and then we're going to take a reading and see where we are. So we need to be at 10:55. So depending on where we are, we know roughly how long we need to boil for. We're at 10:49, so we need to be at 10:55. We've got some water to boil off. It looks like instead of an hour boil, we're going to be doing a 2-hour boil. And I don't want to boil for any more than that, so after the 2-hour boil is done, I'm going to check the numbers and see where we are. That's where we are at the minute. The last reading I did at 26 litres left in the boil pot was 10:52. And we need 10:55. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get there, and we are about 25.5 litres now left in the boil pot, so we won't be too far away, I'm hoping. Time to start chucking in the 20-minute hop addition. Right, took another reading, the last one. We boiled for an extra hour. I don't want to boil it any more than that because I've got stuff to do, and also I don't want to interfere with the flavours that I was going for to start with. And we are 2 points off the final gravity. Two points off the final gravity. 10.53, wanted 10.55. I think we did friggin' alright to get out of this shit storm. Let's get the steeping hops in, and then we'll friggin' get it chilled down. And just to add insult to injury, it started to piss it down. It's about 7 o'clock. I've had an absolute grueler. But we have a bitter in the fridge. Friggity right, we're just cleaned up, just about cleaned up, a few odds and ends to do. But it has been an absolute battle this brew day, and I don't sort of mind having a troublesome brew day if you know what's gone wrong for next time and you can work around it, which is what we did today. Gone are the days pretty much where I run into a problem and I'm like, I have no idea how to rectify this. Them days are sort of disappearing, which is good. So if I hit a problem, it's quite reassuring to know that you can work a plan to get to where you still need to be. So we'd gathered too much liquor pre-boil, and that was because although I'd put into Beersmith that I'd changed the boil off rate, it hadn't updated it when I printed off the recipe. Alarm bell should have rang when I started seeing the volumes of water that I was adding. But you know what it's like when you're rushing about. I had to drop Ellie off at Grandma's and then come back and get everything up and running on my breakfast and stuff like that. So I wasn't 100% concentrating because I thought I'd already sorted it out. So ended up with too much water. So we had to boil it down and keep taking readings and make sure that we weren't boiling for too long, but needed to get the original gravity you know, closer to where it needed to be, and find the happy medium between boiling it forever till you get to where you need to be, or cutting some of them numbers back. In the end we were short on 3 points, so we got 10.52 and we wanted 10.55. So all in all, we got to where we needed to be, got to the volume we needed, which is in there now, and everything's fallen into place. Friggin' right. So I'm quite happy. Quite happy. Managed to sort it out, and I know that next time it won't be a problem. That's it. That's it. Make sure everything's shut off, and then I'm going in. I'll chuck this video up whenever. So that's the start of a new playlist. The Hell or High Water Bitter is now what it's going to be called, because we got it done. Hell or High Waters. And that's it, fellas. So as always, guys, don't forget to follow this video because you know what I do. Don't forget to subscribe. Little red button down here to subscribe. Click it. It's coming up next. Share the video. Get out of water scene. Until next time, I'm out of here.